Good evening. Oh, we've got a wonderful photo op in the back. We'll have to wait for that. How are you? We've got some great photos going on in the back. Instagram. Welcome, all of you, this evening. I am thrilled to be here. I am Linda Carter Griffith, and I am the Assistant Head of School for Equity and Inclusion. I'm also an English teacher and an adjunct in the theater department, which has been just a big hoot this past year. I'd like to welcome the President of the Board of Trustees, Mr. Peter Curry, and his wife here this evening, as well as John Palfrey, who's down front, and all of the faculty and staff members who are guests of the class of 2017. Woo! I'm beginning to think you all have already graduated and are alums. I'm so used to the hoots and the haws. What's going on out there? Class of 2017. Thank you very much. Clearly you all have grown up, whether it's over 1, 2, 3, or 4 years here at Phillips Academy. It's graduation time. And around the country and around the world, family and friends are coming together to celebrate accomplishments of the newly cast graduates in their lives, to mark the conclusion of one stage and the beginning of another. It is always a bittersweet moment, often filled with both tears of joy for all that you have accomplished. And Lord knows you all have accomplished many, many things, as well as tears of sadness for what might be missed. And there will be plenty to be missed from here on the Hill. In such a season of promise, it is my pleasure and privilege to be asked to welcome you all here this evening for what promises to be a magical trip down memory lane. So strap on and get ready, or get out your Kleenex. For me, this is my favorite event of commencement weekend. It truly is. As I look out and I see all of your faces, students, I remember many of you when you first showed up on this campus. And in some cases, in fact, I've got the photos. Zach and Daphne, I remember when. For all of the teachers, the coaches, and the mentors across campus who have come here to join you this evening, we are thrilled to celebrate you. On Sunday, you will celebrate with family, friends, and classmates. But tonight, it is all about us, those of us in this space together, recognizing each other for our shared history and experiences during your time at Andover. Class of 2017, we are proud, we are joyous, and we are all the richer for having shared this campus with you. Maya Angelou once said, and anyone in this room who knows me knows how much I love Maya Angelou. She always has a quote for whatever occasion you can imagine. Would you agree? Okay, so let's see. Once I start this one, I'm sure you will all feel it, not just remember it. I've learned that people will forget what you said. You all will not remember one word I uttered up here this evening shortly. And that is very much okay. People will forget what you did. I guarantee we've forgotten about all the dirty rooms and all the missed classes and all the late assignments. Those are not on our mind and gone from the memory. Check box. But what people will never, never, ever forget is how you made them feel. They will never forget how you made them feel. So class of 17, thank you for making us feel pretty fantastic. Congratulations to the beginning of your commencement weekend, and have a fantastic evening. I would like to welcome Carissa Kang to the podium. There you are.
Hello, I'm Carissa. I was hoping that as I walked here, my life would become slow-mo and I would hear These Days by Nico in the background, but such is not the case. So thank you so much for having me this evening, and I hope this resonates with some of you. So before I came to Andover, I didn't know a single person who had ever went to boarding school. I'd only ever even encountered the idea of boarding school in select media I consumed. So naturally, I read Catcher in the Rye, I watched Scent of a Woman with my family multiple times, and I watched Rushmore, which, as some of you might know, has since become my favorite movie of all time. So for those of you who don't know, Rushmore is the story of Max Fisher, a student at the eponymous Rushmore Academy. So the dress code at Rushmore mandates button-downs and khakis, but every day Max shows up to class in a full-blown navy blazer, dress shirt, and tie. So that might sound like someone you know. He's the president of almost every club on campus, but he's actually on the verge of failing out at school, which might also sound like someone you know. So during the course of the movie, Max falls in love with a teacher, tries to build an unauthorized aquarium on campus, and is eventually kicked out of school. So I still remember the day that I first saw Rushmore. I came back from middle school, and my dad came to pick me up from the school bus. This, while unusual, didn't strike me as totally strange, so I just kind of went with it. "Hey," he said, "how was school today?" "Fine," I said. We walked back to our house. It was long past autumn, but the leaves were still falling, which in Florida is normal. To break the silence, my father spoke. "We got a call from your school's guidance counselor," he said. "He said you told him something about some kind of suicidal thoughts." So now, 6 years later, that moment feels like something I can almost laugh at, or something that can sort of make it into one of my stand-up comedy routines. But back then, it felt really scarily real. I don't remember what I said next. All I know is that I'd never seen my father cry before. We cried together, he, I, and my mother. My sister was too young to understand, and she looked on, confused. "It's okay," I assured my parents over and over. "I'm okay. I'm fine, really." That night, my parents ordered calzones, which felt like a really special treat to me, and my mother served me first. When we finished, my dad put in the DVD for Rushmore, and we watched it together, and I think we even laughed a little. So in 2 days, I'm graduating from Phillips Academy, Andover. In many ways, I'm not the same Carissa I was in 6th grade. I'm happier, yes, but more importantly, I'm filled with a great sense of curiosity and love for the world. My time at Andover doesn't ensure that I'll never be sad again, obviously, but rather it's equipped me with the tools to feel my sadness fully and, when I'm ready, to let myself change. So the final scene of Rushmore is this beautiful shot that includes practically every single character, major and minor, who's appeared in the film. So they're dancing. These are the people who changed Max's life, and he knows it. Right now, standing up here, looking at all of you, feels a little like that scene. Every single one of you, even those of you with whom I've never spoken, has changed my life in some capacity. Thank you. I'm lucky to know you, lucky to have learned with you how it feels to be loved and how it feels to love. I'm lucky to have friends who loved me enough to let me go, and lucky for friends that I don't want to let go of now. I'm lucky for this moment with all of you together. At the beginning of the movie, Max gives some advice to Bill Murray's character. He says, "You've just got to find something you love and do it for the rest of your life. For me, it's going to Rushmore." Andover is not perfect, of course, but it is my Rushmore, and I will never forget it. So thank you all for being part of my Rushmore. I never will forget you. The audience has no idea what's going to happen to Max after the end of the film. But whatever happens, we know that Max will be ready. I don't know what I'm going to do after I graduate. I don't know where I'm going to go, but I'm sure some of you feel the same way. But wherever I go and whatever I do, one thing I do know for sure is that I will be ready. I'm ready. Thank you.
Hello. Hey. I didn't say anything. No. My name is Dockery Godosolo, and I'm a day student-ish from Andover, Mass. And I live, give or take, 9 minutes that way. I'm a fact brat. And many people have asked me, well, what is it like to grow up here? In short, it's really weird. At least it is now. I can't fully express what it's like to meet a faculty member for the first time after seeing them around for a decade. For an overthinker like me, it is always a conundrum. Do they know who I am? Should I know who they are? Do I ask about their family? What if they bring up that one time in Commons when you and a group of fact brats were fooling around and you accidentally pegged them in the back of the head with an ice cube? Sorry about that, Mr. Honig. What I'm trying to say is, as a fact brat, it's odd to come here and be taught by someone you've known your whole life. It's hard to see them as a teacher until, suddenly, someone you thought of as the kindly old man down the street is teaching the class that you are barely pulling a low 4 in, and both of you are very disappointed. At its heart, the weirdness of the situation comes from crossing the line between person and teacher, a boundary keenly felt if you've ever run into an elementary school teacher at the grocery store. This tendency to view educators as manifestations of a profession and not people is a hard one to unlearn. But here, one quickly finds out there is no line between educator and individual, faculty, or friend. And no one exemplifies this better than Shimazu Sensei. I can remember freshman fall walking into the classroom brimming with excitement about finally being able to learn Japanese. And even more vividly, I remember leaving your classroom understanding one thing after the first day. I was hopelessly underprepared. I can remember struggling to string together 2-letter words on our weekly quizzes. I even remember struggling to say I was struggling in this new and very foreign language. And yet, despite all the wrong answers, stupid questions, and retakes, you stuck with me. Every time I got overly flustered with my lack of progress, you would laugh it off and tell me some outrageous story about your times as a translator or the time you may or may not have crossed the Korean border. And I know these two examples may seem wildly dissimilar, but they both somehow had the same message. Mistakes shape our path just as much as our greatest moments, and that's okay. It's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay to fail sometimes. It's okay to fail sometimes. Life doesn't have to be flawless to be perfect. So Shimazu Sensei and every other faculty member I have had the pleasure to meet, thank you for everything that you have taught me that was not on the syllabus. Thank you for giving your whole selves to the students of this class, whether it be meeting for breakfast, chaperoning a dance, or being a shoulder to cry on without a word of complaint. So to the faculty gathered here, on the behalf of the class of 2017, I thank you for your time, your wisdom, your kindness, your friendship, and everything else you have given us. I promise wherever we go, we will pay it forward. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for the invitation to speak this evening. When I received the email from Mr. Palfrey informing me that many of you had suggested me as a faculty speaker, I was deeply moved. It's quite humbling, especially since I'm not exactly a household name on the faculty. He failed to mention also that I would be following Carissa Kang and Dr. Igoto solo. Had I known that, I might have declined. So my name is Richard Gorham. I am an alum from the class of 1986, and I remember well sitting in this chapel for this event when I was a senior. In my role on the faculty now, I coach wrestling and track, serve as a house counselor. I'm the announcer at football games, occasionally drive a rally wagon for the Spoken Word Poetry Club. I've been known to host a barbecue or two at Andover Cottage. But my real job is with Andover Bread Loaf, an outreach program that supports literacy and youth leadership development around the U.S. and around the world. It's a passion that began when I was an upper, way back in the day. I took part in what was then called a community service project, serving as a math tutor at the Lawrence Boys Club. That small experience sparked an interest, which grew slowly over the years to become my vocation and my passion. I sincerely hope that someday you will love what you do as much as I love what I do. I was asked tonight to speak on behalf of the faculty, and speaking as such, I want to tell you that we are very proud of you. We are very proud of what you have done at Phillips Academy. The class of 2017 has unquestionably made its mark. You have engaged deeply with your studies across a wide range of academic disciplines. You have won championships and the respect of your opponents in various forms of competition. You've performed plays, produced films, made gorgeous music, published a newspaper. You've engaged with the community through ARC, Non-Civi Day, and many, many other ways. You have represented the school and explored other cultures and travel across the U.S. and to other countries. You have tried, failed, got up, and tried again. You've made mistakes, reflected on them, and learned from them. Most importantly, you came together to form an intentionally diverse community, keeping your mind open to experiences and viewpoints different from your own. You learned from each other and made lifelong friends. But, let me tell you, speaking again on behalf of the faculty, we did not bring you to Phillips Academy to win track meets or wrestling matches, to play violin in the orchestra, or to serve as proctor or president of a club. You have made significant contributions to the life of the school, and that is important, but we did not bring you here for what you would do while you were here. We brought you here for what you will do after you leave Andover. We brought you here because my wise colleagues in the admissions office recognized that you were worth the investment. You see, we believe that you, given access to the extraordinary opportunities, resources, and networks that this school offers, will use them to make the world a better place. Phillips Academy is committed to be a private school with a public purpose. You have both the opportunity, and I suggest to you, the obligation to serve that public purpose, whatsoever your field of endeavor. And so I urge you, first, find your passion in life, the way I was lucky enough to find mine. Second, figure out how you can build on that passion to improve our world. I think of people like Gabrielle Wohljolian, class of 1978. She became a lawyer, one of the first female partners at Hale & Dorr, Boston's most prestigious law firm. She left private practice to become a judge on the Massachusetts State Court of Appeals, and she told me a few weeks ago at an alumni event that she did so because she believes that the law, properly applied, can make our world a more just place. I think of people like John Wilson, my classmate from 1986. He went into finance, got an MBA at Columbia University. He is now a leader in the field called socially responsible investment, which uses the power of the shareholder to influence corporate behavior. Thanks in part to John's work, ExxonMobil voted last week at their shareholder meeting. They passed a major resolution to take action on climate change. I think of Seth Moulton from the class of 1997. After college, he volunteered to serve his country in the United States Marines, served 4 tours of duty in Iraq, and then entered politics. Currently, he is United States Representative from the Massachusetts 6th District and is emerging as a leader in Congress. And I think of my former student, Dario Collado, class of 1998, whom you heard from at all-school meeting a few weeks ago, whose career has included raising money for Boston's Children's Hospital and nurturing the next generation of Latino leaders. Let these alums serve to you as models of how to live a full and happy life, one of meaning and purpose. This is what we really want for you. As we approach the end of your time at as Phillips Academy students, let me say that we on the faculty hope we have served you well. We have tried our best. We are very proud of what you have done here, but we are most excited for what you will do in the future, because you see, your Phillips Academy journey is really just beginning. Thank you.
Take me to your best friend's house. She was staring out the window of their SUV, complaining, saying, I can't wait to turn 18. She said, I'll make my own money and I'll make my own rules. Mama put the car in park out there in front of the school, and she kissed her head and said, I was just like you. You're gonna miss this, you're gonna want this back, you're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. Before she knows it, she's a brand new bride in her one-bedroom apartment, and her daddy stops by. He tells her it's a nice place. She says, it'll do for now. Starts talking about babies and buying a house. And Daddy shakes his head and says, baby, just slow down, 'cause you're gonna miss this, you're gonna want this back, you're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. 5 years later, there's a plumber working on the water heater. Dogs barking, phones ringing, one kid's crying, one kid's screaming, and she keeps apologizing. He says, they don't bother me, I've got 2 babies of my own. One's 36, one's 23. It's hard to believe, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna want this back, you're gonna wish these days hadn't gone by so fast. These are some good times, so take a good look around. You may not know it now, but you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss this. Yeah, you're gonna miss this.
I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, Achilles and his gold, Hercules and his gifts, and Spider-Man's control, and Batman with his fists. And clearly I don't see myself upon that list. But she said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Oh, I want something just like this. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Oh, I want something just like this. I want something just like this. I've been reading books of old, the legends and the myths, the testaments they told, the moon and its eclipse, and Superman unrolls a suit before he lived. I'm not the kind of person that it fits. She said, where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can miss. I want something just like this. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Where'd you wanna go? How much you wanna risk? I'm not looking for somebody with some superhuman gifts, some superhero, some fairy tale bliss. Just something I can turn to, somebody I can kiss. I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this. Oh, I want something just like this.
Look at you. Class of 2017, you will miss this, and we will miss you. I get the chance in a couple days, not very long from now, to address you a final time, so I'm not going to say that much tonight. But I did want to take this last time here in the chapel to say a few words before our dinner. First off, to the retiring faculty members who we've just seen up here, Mr. Watt, Ms. Crivelli, Mr. Hodgson, Mr. Cohn, Ms. Korn, Dr. Stern, Dr. Israel, thank you. You are amazing. You've given so much. We will miss you, and you graduate too with this great class of 2017. We wish you so very well. Musicians on the stage, I love to hear you play. Brett Saka, you are everywhere. You are indispensable. I do not know what we're going to do without you. I remember very well my first year, 2013, at this very event. It was before all of you had arrived. And the music was so beautiful, and I was so moved by it. As I was walking out, I was next to Mr. Walter. Some of you may remember Christopher Walter. And I turned to him and I said, it seems impossible to me that the musicians could be this good every year. Like, are we going downhill from here? If you know Mr. Walter, he's very serious. He kind of paused for a minute. He looked up and he said, you know what? You're pretty much that good every year. You guys are amazing, and every year in a different way. Thank you for the beauty, beauty, beauty of that music that you bring to us in each your own way. To Carissa, to Dockery, to Mr. Gorham, thank you for your words tonight. You each nailed it, just perfect. What a great set of expressions. Carissa, you are ready, no question about it. Dockery, what a great story. Thank you for representing faculty, staff, all of us in just such a beautiful way, and yourself in such a distinctive way. That was perfect. Mr. Gorham, I am glad to be your colleague. You inspire me every single day. Thank you. All right, the two things I wanted to say in addition are these. One is just pure unadulterated, complete admiration for you, class of 2017, and colleagues, faculty and staff at Phillips Academy. And this admiration comes from the year that we've had, without being overly political. I think we can all agree this was a topsy-turvy year in our world. And I love that you did not ignore that. You engaged with it totally and directly, and you didn't let it get in the way of being all that you could be as students, as athletes, as artists, as all of those things. You took it head on, and I think you showed the world something truly great about what a wonderful, diverse, global community of people could be, adults and kids alike. I have such admiration for you for that. Second to last thing, I hope, students, you might scroll back in your mind to the first time that I got a chance to speak to you in this chapel when you'd arrived on campus. And I want to let you in on one little secret. That secret may be totally evident to you, but I feel like revealing it at this event every year is important to do. I asked you, as my predecessor Barbara Landis Chase had asked you, to look up and look around and find your angel. Do you remember which your angel is? Some of you might remember. I know mine. It's right there. That's my angel. Always will be. For whatever reason, I sit here or I sit there, and that's my angel. And on a sad day, I will come in here and find it, as I encouraged you to do then. But of course, the secret is obvious. Those are not the angels. The angels and the ones that will get you through here and will get you through the rest of your life are to your right and to your left, in front of you and behind you. The angels are your friends, and the angels are the teachers who care so much for you and the staff who have looked out for us. That is the magic of this place. That is the big secret. All right. Now, very last thing before we go to dinner is this. A lot of what we do this year has a sense of prefiguring. And you will remember, for instance, doing the Vista Walk, right? The Vista Walk at the beginning of your senior year was to prefigure the walk that you will do on commencement in 2 days. So tonight what we do will prefigure another event. That other event will happen in 5 years and 1 week from today. 5 years and 1 week from today is what, class of 2017? Can you imagine? It's your 5th reunion. It's really fun for all sorts of reasons, some of which I will state and some of which I don't have to state. It's awesome, and you must come back. One of those reasons is this, which is for the next 36 hours or so, you will be together as a class for really the last time. It's super sad. It's super, super sad for us and for you. So enjoy it, every minute that happens between now and that beautiful commencement circle. When that commencement circle breaks, never again will you be together quite the same way as the class of 2017 until that reunion, if you all come back. So you actually have it in your power to recreate it, more or less. So what we want to do is to encourage you to come back and see one another and to see all of us, and we will love to see you. Ask your faculty and staff friends, and they will absolutely give you a big hug and say you must come for your 5th reunion and your 10th and everything after that. But what we're going to do is prefigure that particular walk. And so the way we're going to do it is behind your banner. And the banner that we're about to see is the exact same banner that you will walk behind at every reunion from now until the class stops having reunions, whenever that might be. It should be a long, long time from now. A very long time from now. So, here is what we are going to do. There are a series of you who have raised your hands, and I'm enormously grateful to you, to lead your class as class agents and as alumni leaders. They're on the back of your program. Flip it over and see all these people. Thank you for doing it. I'm going to call up 2 of them, and they're going to come up here, and they're going to receive for the first time the class of 2017 banner, and then they are going to proceed out of the chapel. You are going to go behind them to dinner, and you are going to have some organ music play as you go out. And this will prefigure what you will do in 5 years and 1 week. It's going to be super fun. All right, so Jules Gilligan and Nicole Rodriguez, where are you? I need you both. I see Jules. I saw Nicole earlier. I know she is here. Yes, will you come up, please? Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Savino and Ms. Hout, you will be here in 5 years and 1 week, will you not, with this banner? You will? That's awesome. All right, class of 2017, there you are. Congratulations. With that, we will bring to a close our event this evening. Nicole and Jules, if you would be willing to lead us out into the beautiful sunshine and to dinner. Congratulations, class of 2017. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.